Hey, horror fans, and thanks for joining me for this review of Black Summer Season 2. Alright, um, cast and crew information down below as usual, and we'll start off with the IMDb plot here. In the dark, early days of the zombie apocalypse, complete strangers band together to find the strength they need to survive and get back to loved ones. That's going to be a little hard, but they'll give it a good try here. Of course, this is on Netflix, and this is talk mostly about season 2. I believe I did a review already for season 1, and I believe it was also another video review. I will double check that, and if I did, I will make sure that that is attached down below as well, so that you can check that out if you're interested. I guess I'll start a little bit off, just a touch there, and then move into season 2 here, and since this has only been out for I think a couple of weeks now, I'll try to keep this as spoiler free as possible, and kind of start with some of the returning characters and maybe where they start, and then kind of leave where the finish is for you guys to check out. So yeah, season 1 kind of presented us with several different characters coming from, I guess, different areas, different groups, and different places. As the zombie apocalypse started to take fold here, and in what we kind of see in a lot of zombie movies and series and TV shows, whatever, you see them, kind of forced together. People who don't really know each other, maybe 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 there, kind of come together and join forces temporarily to survive. And you see a lot of that in obviously season 1, and then it kind of leaves off in a little bit of chaos here. And then we pick up with season 2. Now, I guess before I really get into it, I guess and I guess if you haven't seen season 1, you could watch season 2 if you just wanted to skip it for whatever reason. You might miss a little bit of the backstories of some of the characters here, but season 2 is only going to follow a couple of the characters from season 1. You're going to have, obviously, most importantly, Rose and Anna, mother and daughter tandem here, and that's where the story is basically starts and ends. First and foremost, they're the most important characters that are being followed here, and as if you may or may not have seen from season 1, that's Rose is gonna go as this goes on and on and on. It just becomes more and more important for her just to protect her daughter at all costs, and she's kind of adapting to the changes in the world and what's going on, and becoming more and more fierce at protecting her daughter, and seeing what she has to do to do that. And you're gonna see that continue here in season 2. It's all about that for her. And then in the process, her daughter Anna is kind of learning how to survive, learning what her mother's doing to keep them alive. And maybe, that a little bit of that's going to rub off, and maybe rub off not in a good way. We'll see kind of how she changes, but she's also becoming adapted to what needs to be done here in this apocalypse here. Another character, Spears, who we met in season 1, who is a character with a bit of a shady past, and I've talked about this in other forums of zombie apocalypse as being a place for certain characters, maybe to start over, maybe to get away from their past. Maybe it's not such a bad thing for them, and he's certainly one of these characters. But his past keeps creeping up. He's not going to be able to escape it. While he is in a new world and given new opportunity, his past is definitely chasing him, and you are going to get a part of one. I think there's one specific episode in season 2 that's dedicated a lot to him, and a lot to his past coming back. So you get to see that. So if he's a character you liked from season 1, you'll get to see that here and presented in this series of episodes. And then the third character is Sun, who is a very interesting character because, if you remember from season 1, or maybe if you didn't see it, she's Asian. She speaks no English, or very little, very, very little. So it's very surprising how she even makes it out of season 1, and it's very surprising to see her as she goes here in season 2, because that language barrier, she can't really communicate with anybody. She, besides for, common things and pointing and what she does. I guess, in a weird way, it kind of helps because, it doesn't kind of tip her hand of whether she's likes somebody or doesn't like somebody, or is okay with a group or not okay with a group. And it also makes people not sure what to make of her, and kind of maybe lowers her threat level, so people aren't as threatened by her because they don't know what she's saying and so forth. So it's kind of interesting how she kind of stumbles along here. But she is good-hearted, and she tries to play very neutral with everybody in every situation. And, she's just basically doing what everybody else is doing, is trying to survive. She just has a different way of doing it because of her language barrier. But I like that. I like that kind of... I don't necessarily remember too many characters seeing where there was just a language thing, of this extreme. I mean, this is pretty extreme here. She's basically speaking zero English here. So getting into season 2, that's basically where you're gonna get. You're gonna get these characters from season 1 and see where they're going here. They are a little bit together, and then they are a little bit apart. I don't think that's a major spoiler there. But I guess the real, what we find the end, and I'll just, as far as the end of season 2, I guess the only thing I'll let you guys know is basically the end goal here is to find this airfield that's rumored to be out there, where a plane is landing and picking up people ever so often. I guess that's kind of the end place where everybody is trying to get to. Obviously, our returning characters are going to be new characters here, and some are going to be friendly, some are going to be not, and you're going to see basically everybody in the story's goal is to end up here in this airfield. So we'll see what happens there, who makes it, who doesn't, and what goes on in between. Getting into what this series does and so forth. A lot of mention when I see tweets and so forth when I see this, and I guess I'll kind of talk about it as well, is the kind of comparison of Black Summer versus The Walking Dead. Obviously, we've been inundated the last 10 plus years with The Walking Dead, and anything zombies that have come along in this time period has been compared to The Walking Dead. So I guess we're going to have to compare this to The Walking Dead. And, whether you've seen one season or all 10 or 11 seasons, this is going to be different. There's obviously some very big differences here between this and The Walking Dead. And I think, one of the turnoffs for some people in The Walking Dead is all the drama. That it started off, the zombies were real cool, we're fighting zombies and a lot of that. But then as it kind of went on, it came out a lot about the characters and their relationships and so forth, with the zombies sprinkled in. And I think that kind of angle is kind of one of the biggest things that turned off at X amount of people with The Walking Dead. And, taking it as AMC and so forth, that's kind of what you're going to get. I mean, it is a station to kind of present this, and as fun as it would be to see zombies being killed for 50 minutes every week, that's just not realistic. So you get a lot of that drama. Here, I think you get something very different. You get a lot of action. So if you want that action element, you're going to get it with Black Summer. A lot of chaos, a lot of action scenes, a lot of shooting, a lot of fighting, fighting amongst people versus people versus zombies, obviously. Say season 2 started off hot and heavy. I would say, for the first at least 3 or 4 episodes, maybe even 5, it was very fast paced, just lots of go. It was people versus people, and if it wasn't, it was people versus zombies. And it was just, it was like little action clip after little action clip after little action clip. So if that's something that you wanted and something that you didn't really like from The Walking Dead, that might be something you get here. Here you also get fast-moving zombies. These are not slow, drag your feet. The only way they're going to get you is either you're just not really paying attention or there's a large group of them. No, there's never really a huge amount of zombies. There's 1 or 2 points where there's a good grouping of them. But, when there is a zombie or two, it's still pretty threatening because they are fast and they're furious and they're coming at you. And they're not really totally dumb. I think at some points you kind of see them kind of like sniffing to see where the people are. So, it's not that you can always disappear from them either. Shelter is a huge way to escape from them. I mean, like shelter and then, block up the doors and stuff. That comes very important. And obviously, as we've seen in Zombieland, cardio is very important here. You're going to have to run, because when the zombies see you, it's all about running. If you are not armed, you're going to have to run. So in that respect, it does give you a lot of action. You're going to see a lot of people running and trying to find a place to hide, and then they kind of hide, and then the zombies come, and then they're going to have to move to another place. And so when the action hits, it's gonna be exciting. It's going to keep it moving and so forth, and you're going to see people killed, and you're going to see zombies killed, and so forth. But all in good fun there. So. That's a little bit different from The Walking Dead. I guess on the flip side of that, if you know The Walking Dead and you like The Walking Dead for what they do with the zombies and their designs and stuff like that, you don't really get much better than that with the makeup designs and so forth and how the zombies have changed and where they come from and so forth. Here, there a lot of them are pretty standard. There's not going to be much body change and whatever from their human form. They're going to be a little bit maybe grayer. A lot of them, tend to have blood around their face. Maybe you'll see their wound if depending on how they were killed. But there's not going to be that decayed look and so forth that you get a lot on The Walking Dead. So, in that kind of aspect, you're not going to get a whole lot from. So, that might be a disappointment for some. So, there's a give and take here, just kind of depending on what you're looking for and what you like. I think, I mentioned a couple of these things probably in the review of season 1. And what's kind of interesting here, and this is definitely a show that you're going to want. If you're going to watch this, you're going to have to kind of pay attention. It's not, you can kind of turn it on like I sometimes do and do some work and kind of have it in the corner there and glimpse over and be like, okay, I can follow what's going on here. Everything here is basically, every episode is basically, I think there's like 8 episodes here and probably 40-50 minutes each. Give or take, I'm just guessing. I don't know the exact. But every episode is kind of broken down into segments here. It kind of gives you a little title. It kind of gives you a clue of what you can look forward to in that segment. Sometimes if you put the different segment names together, it kind of gives you a bigger clue of what is happening overall. But what they do is they don't always shoot it in sequence. You may see, where someone has, kind of the first thing you might see is where somebody has ended up, and then they'll go back and show you how they got there. Then they may show you two people all of a sudden together, and then you're like, well, where the hell did this person come from? And then they'll show you how they got together. And then sometimes they'll show you where they're going, and then they'll show you just a random clip about where they were. They mix it up, so it kind of keeps you on your toes. It's going to make it confuse you sometimes if you're not paying attention. You look away for a little bit, then you kind of come back. You may get lost to what's going on here, how these people came together. Sometimes they may go a little bit further back, give you some backstory. So you're really going to have to kind of pay attention and include in, if you're really kind of interested in things. If you just want to see the zombie chasing whatever, then just turn whenever that's happening. But if you really want to follow the story, you're going to kind of pay attention in that way. What's a little bit confusing about season 2 is like I said, you have your returning characters, then you have this other groups of characters, and it's two, maybe 2.5, 3 kind of groups that are a little bit bigger, and obviously they've had some beef amongst them, and they're fighting each other. And amongst them fighting each other, they're obviously fighting zombies too, because as they kill each other, those people are becoming zombies if, you're not shot in the head. So those people are getting up and becoming zombies, and then they're ending up, fighting the zombies as well. So, you kind of start off with your familiar characters, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into these two groups here of people that are fighting. And then your characters are kind of getting intertwined with certain members of these different groups. And, you're going to see that I think that's another thing about this world that's different than The Walking Dead, especially like, let's say you watch The Fear of the Walking Dead, you saw Morgan, and he just they kind of got to the point where they wanted to save everybody. And here, you don't quite get that. You find very few people, who are willing to look out for an entire group or a larger group of people. Most people are more looking out for themselves. Like you have Rose here is looking out for her daughter. You kind of have that short list. You may have one individual who's really paying attention to maybe his two best friends there, and then maybe there's other friends around, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be around at the end of the day. So there are some twists and turns. Again, like I said, you got to pay attention. Another reason to pay attention is not only the segments, is that as it's going on, you're going to see people turn against each other, and everybody, you see, it's kind of a very different world, and The Walking Dead, you saw larger groups be against each other. You saw, Rick's group go against, bad guy A, then bad guy B, and bad guy C. Here it's just it's smaller groups, and it's just whoever, everybody's out for themselves, and within those groups there's even people that are even more tighter, and they're willing to turn on their larger group. So there's all kinds of craziness like that going on as well, which makes it interesting. But again, like I said, it keeps you on your toes, and keeps you having to watch. Maybe a little confusing, and I think as you go, you can weed some of those characters out. Some of them may not be as important at the end of the day. And then I think when you get to the back half and you kind of get to where everybody's going, you'll see which ones are a little bit more important than others, and who's going to turn on who. So yeah, just fast paced, lots going on here. They squeeze a lot into 8 episodes. And, I still enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the back half of season 2 will start getting to a little bit of that characterness, a little bit more of that drama between the characters. It will slow down a little bit. It will take a big, deep breath. You'll kind of get more grounded back to the central characters and what's going on with them and where they are, so they will start off hot and heavy, go give you a lot of action, lots of fighting, and so forth, kind of set the grounds of where they are. They'll take a deep breath, kind of give you some more stuff with the characters, and kind of settle on them. Every episode will have some zombies and some killing and some action, so don't worry. There's not one episode where it's just a bunch of talking and blah blah blah. But it will slow down to a point, but it will still finish on a high note. Finish in a crazy episode with lots of going on, lots of fighting, lots of zombies as well. So it will finish this kind of the same way as it started. So enjoy the beginning, take that deep breath with them, in the middle, and then wait for a good ending. I guess that's kind of the best way to explain it if that's what you're looking for. Like I said, it just kind of really depends on what you're hoping to see here. Good acting and overall, and I think it's a good different zombie story going on here with how they present it and so forth. So with that, I think I'm gonna kind of get to the end here. Call it 3 Pools of Blood. I don't remember what I gave the first half of or season 1, and I kind of want to stay in that middle ballpark just in case they do a season 3. I haven't read anything. I don't know if they're gonna do a season 3. They obviously leave room. They left off where there could be more. They also kind of leave it in a way where, if that was the end, that was the end. Kind of depending. I mean, that would be a little disappointing in certain areas. But, maybe they didn't know. And I guess if they don't know whether they're coming back or not, I guess it was an okay ending. But I kind of want to leave it kind of in the middle. That's 3 Pools of Blood out of 5. I kind of want to leave it in the middle just in case they do more. So I have some flexibility to kind of say maybe at the end, or they kind of say, okay, we're doing a 3rd one and that's it. Or I can kind of say, okay, so overall the entire series was X rating. So, but yeah, I would certainly recommend it. I think you guys like it. Like I said, if you're looking to kind of break away from The Walking Dead a little bit and kind of give you something a little bit different and fast-paced, this is definitely it. I've also mentioned, and I hope we get to see some of this soon, is some of the Korean zombies, some of the stuff that we've seen there, like in Train to Busan, a lot of fast-moving. Those zombies were a little bit more creative, like I said. They do a little bit more with the makeup design, and not the case here. But Train to Busan, you kind of see those fast-moving, crazy zombies. So you kind of get that excitement, and you kind of get that excitement here as well. I'm not going to go down a whole road here of comparisons, but if you're just looking for that fast zombie movement, excitement, I think that's a good thing to have, and it's a good difference. I know, some traditional zombie people don't like it, but, it is what it is. So anyway, let's wrap this up and say, as usual, HorrorScoreReviews.blogspot.com is where you can find more reviews. Definitely written reviews. The video reviews are there as well, but if you're just interested in that, subscribe to the channel. But if you're looking for written ones, they're there as well. Plenty of years going back, a lot of recent stuff there as well. Facebook, Twitter, information down below. Reach out to me there, talk about this movie, other movies, horror, anything horror. Definitely interested in talking about. If you want me to review something, reach out to me there as well. Again, comment section is there. Comment on the show as well if you've seen it, what you like, don't like, or if you need to reach out to me, you can do it there as well. Yeah, I guess we are in summertime now. Hopefully it won't be black summer. Well, I guess the other interesting thing in this thing is it is summertime, but it is winter. So if you're looking for winter in the zombies, you get that as well. So I just should have mentioned that earlier, but just came to mind. Anyway, back to my summer, and I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.